As someone who has grown potatoes for years, I've learned through trial and error how to consistently produce large harvests of plump, healthy tubers. Potatoes are not just a staple food, they are incredibly rewarding to grow, especially when you see the fruits of your labor in the form of a bountiful harvest. In this guide, I'm going to share my personal strategies for achieving huge potato yields. These are the methods that have worked for me, and I hope they'll work for you too. One of the first things I do is carefully choose my potato varieties. Not all potatoes are created equal when it comes to yield. For larger harvests, I gravitate toward varieties known for their productivity, such as Yukon Gold, Kennebec, or Russet Burbank. These varieties are not only high-yielding but also versatile in the kitchen. I also make sure to buy certified seed potatoes from reliable suppliers. Using certified seed potatoes minimizes the risk of diseases that can impact the crop. Starting with healthy seeds is half the battle won, and it's one of the most critical steps I take every season. Good soil preparation is key to growing any crop, but it's particularly important for potatoes. I always start by testing my soil to determine its nutrient levels and pH. Potatoes thrive in slightly acidic soil with a pH between 5.0 and 6.0. If the pH is too high, I add organic materials like pine needles or sulfur to bring it down. To ensure the soil is loose and well draining, I dig deep and add plenty of organic matter such as compost or aged manure. Potatoes develop best in fluffy soil that allows the tubers to expand without resistance. Compact soil can stunt their growth, so aeration is essential. Before planting, I always chit my seed potatoes. This simply means encouraging them to sprout before they go into the ground. I place the seed potatoes in a cool, bright location for 2 to 3 weeks, allowing strong, short sprouts to develop. This head start gives the plants an advantage once they're in the soil. Timing is everything when it comes to planting potatoes. I wait until the soil has warmed to at least 45 degrees Fahrenheit, or 7 degrees Celsius, in the spring. Cold, wet soil can cause the seed potatoes to rot, so patience is crucial. When planting, I dig trenches about 6 inches deep and place the seed potatoes with the sprouts facing upward. I space them 12 inches apart, with rows about 3 feet apart. This spacing ensures that each plant has enough room to grow without competing for nutrients and light. One of the most important practices I follow is hilling my potato plants. As the plants grow, I mound soil around the base of each plant, covering the lower stems and leaving the top foliage exposed. I do this multiple times during the growing season, usually when the plants are about 6 to 8 inches tall. Hilling serves several purposes. It prevents the developing tubers from being exposed to sunlight, which can turn them green and inedible. It also encourages the plants to produce more tubers along the buried stems, increasing the yield. Potatoes need consistent moisture, especially during the tuber formation stage. However, overwatering can lead to rot and disease. I water deeply once or twice a week depending on the weather, making sure the soil stays moist but not soggy. To retain moisture and reduce the frequency of watering, I use a thick layer of organic mulch around the plants. Mulch also helps regulate soil temperature and suppress weeds, making it a win-win solution. Potatoes are heavy feeders, so I make sure to provide them with the nutrients they need throughout the growing season. Early on, I use a balanced fertilizer with equal amounts of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Once the plants start flowering, I switch to a low-nitrogen, high-potassium fertilizer to encourage tuber development. In addition to fertilizers, I rely on compost tea or seaweed extract for a nutrient boost. These natural amendments are rich in trace elements that promote overall plant health and resilience. Pests and diseases can ruin an otherwise healthy potato crop. To keep my plants safe, I take a proactive approach to pest management. I inspect the plants regularly for signs of trouble such as holes in the leaves or yellowing foliage. One of the most common pests I encounter is the Colorado potato beetle. Hand-picking these pests and their eggs from the plants is an effective way to control their population. I also plant companion crops like marigolds and nasturtiums, which deter pests naturally. To prevent diseases like blight, I make sure my plants have good air circulation by spacing them adequately and removing any yellowing leaves. I also rotate my crops each year, planting potatoes in a different part of the garden to reduce the buildup of soil-borne pathogens. Timing the harvest is crucial for maximizing yield and quality. I wait until the foliage has died back before digging up the potatoes. This ensures that the tubers have matured fully and developed thicker skins, which helps them store better. I use a garden fork to gently lift the potatoes from the soil, being careful not to damage them. Damaged potatoes don't store well and should be eaten first. Proper storage is the final step in ensuring that my hard work pays off. I cure the potatoes in a cool, dark place with good ventilation for about 2 weeks. This process allows the skins to harden and heal any minor nicks, extending their shelf life. Once cured, I store the potatoes in a dark, cool location, such as a basement or root cellar, where the temperature remains around 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 4 degrees Celsius. With the right conditions, my harvest lasts for several months, providing a steady supply of homegrown potatoes. Growing huge potato yields takes effort and attention to detail, but the rewards are worth it. By choosing the right varieties, preparing the soil properly, and providing consistent care, I've been able to achieve abundant harvests year after year. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the Botanical Bliss channel for more gardening advice. Share this guide with friends and family who love gardening, and let's continue growing together. Happy planting!